Hello, it's me, the Gap Tooth Malcolm X again, coming right back at you with another video. Or should I call myself now? Yee! The brace face Malcolm X. But with that being said, I just want to discuss today a topic that I see a lot of people, discussing on YouTube, and this particular topic is braces. So I'm just gonna discuss, why I got my braces. My original braces that I got that didn't work out mostly because I didn't do what I was supposed to do in order to make sure that everything went well with those. And then, all right, so in regards to why I got braces, so I would say when I was younger, I was pretty insecure about my teeth. Like, pretty insecure about them when I was younger. I used to not like smiling. I used to not like showing people my teeth just because I got so made fun of about it. Now, the only benefit to being made fun of about your teeth or just about anything, whether you be overweight, whether it's because you have some type of deformity or anything, is that it just gives you a really tough skin. So, as I grew older, I'd probably say by the time I got out of middle school and into high school, even though I didn't really, like my smile or like my teeth, it didn't bother me in any type of way. And I really didn't care too much at what people thought about me by then. Benefits of actually having that is that, you get roasted a lot when you're young, and it gives you a tough skin. People would say things like, oh, you could fit a whole roll of quarters through them teeth, or, oh, gappy boy, or just random shit like that. And I'd have to get them back. I just like this, try to roast me because of my teeth would be like this. Oh boy, look at that big ass gap you got, bro. Look at your face, bro. Look at your fucking shoes, bro. Look at your mouth. You an embarrassment to your family. When you came out of your mother's womb, the doctor didn't slap your ass. He slapped your mama and said, damn, who told you you could shit on my table? Just shit like that. Just roasting people back and forth. So by the time I was in high school, I was like a serial roaster. And anyone that knows me, they know that I just got like this crazy, just always just have this poker face. For some reason, people act like I don't feel any emotions or anything, just because my face is pretty stoic. It's pretty the same almost constantly, almost all the time. So I would say like some of the most craziest shit to someone and just like the straightest face. And yeah, my whole life I've gotten comments about two things. One is my teeth. Two are my glasses. Well, three things. One, my teeth. Two, my glasses. And three, the fact that I'm super light skinned. Those are the things that that people mostly have things to say about me for. Which I don't mind being light skinned at all. And my glasses, who cares? I don't really mind that much. But the teeth thing, early on, it did bother me. So, as I got older, you get older, you mature, you start to accept things about yourself. And even though I always told myself when I was a kid, I was like, when I become an adult, I'm going to get braces. Right now I'm 28, and I had braces before, but I'll get into that. I had Invisaligns or Smile Direct Club, but I didn't do it right, so I had to restart the treatment. But I didn't get those until I was like maybe 26, so I went the majority of my life without ever really trying to even do anything to correct my teeth. And it was just something that I accepted about myself. Even for me, I think it was kind of like I was being rebellious in a sense, where I was thinking, I'm not gonna allow people to tell me how I should look, or have the world, try to make me conform to what their standards of beauty is or whatever. Just because I felt like doing that made me a much stronger person, made me have more character. It wasn't until I actually got into my career, which is I was working in a broker dealer, got into my career in the financial industry, and that was when I really started wanting to fix my teeth. And that's because when you're in a career, as much as we don't want to admit it, looks do matter. If you go to any office or any type of business setting across the world, you're going to see people wearing suit and ties. You're going to be people wearing pantsuits. You're going to see people with bright smiles that have been like ultra whitening, like these motherfuckers just live, eat, and sleep and crest white strips all the time. You're gonna see a lot of that because the looks do matter. No, initially it didn't matter because when I first started, I was in a phone role. I was just dealing with the clients over the phone, not face-to-face client interactions. So it really didn't matter what you look like. But if you know anything about the financial industry, you know that once you get those skills and once you get your licenses, you know, your Series 7, your Series 63, your Series 65, things of that nature, if you really want to advance your career, you're going to have to go towards more of a client-facing role. And when you do go towards that role, you're going to understand that people are very fickle. People tend to, if you don't have the personality, if you don't have the looks, if you can't sell them on the fact that you're the one that's could most adequately service their finances, they're not even going to give you a shot. So when you're doing that, you kind of make some assessments and you say, well, you're going to have to adapt in that sense. And that's one of the reasons why actually I'm thinking about continuing my education just so that I don't have to go down, you know, this career path anymore. Just for, you know, that reason, just because I just don't like always constantly having to be a people pleaser, always constantly have to be fake all the time, just because it's so fundamentally against my just the foundation of my character that if I didn't have children, I wouldn't even do it, to be honest. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be worth it to me. So with that being the case, I put my pride aside. I put my, you know, my own personal beliefs aside, and I just decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and get braces. Because if I was going to transition into a client-facing role, and I already have somewhat of a southern twang, and I open my mouth and there's just tons of gaps in it, people are going to assume that maybe I'm incompetent, maybe that I'm poor, or, you know, all the negative things that are associated with having a smile like that. You know, just the things that people associate with it. And I noticed that, like, even when I had gone to interviews and things, I would notice people looking at my teeth. A lot of times I would talk to clients, I would notice them looking at my teeth. And honestly, I just wanted to put myself in the best position to succeed in my career. And if fixing my teeth, which is just kind of a small thing, could actually greatly benefit me, you know, so that I have that big bright smile, so that I come off as more friendly, so that I come off as more trustworthy, because these people are essentially trusting you with their life savings, you know. So it's heavily relationship based. And I'm not saying that it's something that you necessarily have to have, you know, but it does help because it just makes you come off as more professional. It just makes you come off as more well-groomed. It just makes you come off as just more affluent, even if none of those things are actually true. It's just the perception of it. And in the business world, perception does matter. But not saying that you couldn't succeed despite of. And honestly, you could. I don't think it's so much of a great hurdle where that it would, you know, hurt you, but too significantly. But putting yourself in the best situation by working on all of the small things definitely would benefit you in the long run. But I'm off of that rant. So the first thing that I decided to do was I decided to try Smile Direct Club because it seemed to be the cheapest option, it seemed to be the quickest option, and also seemed to be the most discreet option. But with Smile Direct Club, the downsides of it was that it was really painful, which I'm not someone who has a low tolerance for pain or anything, but you have to understand at this time in my life, it was probably the most stressful time in my life that I've ever gone through. My fiance just had our twins, so I had 2 twin babies. I was working full-time plus mandatory overtime with 4 twin babies because I hadn't been on my job 6 months long enough for me to actually get the paternity leave. So I'm working full-time with the mandatory overtime, not getting sleep because I have 2 twin infants to take care of. And I'm talking on the phone a lot, I'm talking to clients a lot, I'm interacting with people a lot. And the thing that I found with the Smile Direct Club the Smile Direct Club aligners is that, one, every time you change the tray, which you do, which for me, I was doing it bi-weekly, but sometimes I would do it before, or sometimes a little bit less, depending on how, how I was feeling with the trays. But typically it was bi-weekly, as it was prescribed. And every time you did it and put them in your mouth, it was like the first, second, third day I was in such really bad pain. So that, combined with, the stress of my job, combined with the stress of my family life at home, it was really getting to the point where it was like I just stopped giving a fuck about the braces. Also, another thing was, when I had the invisible liners in my mouth, like with these braces, it does affect the way that I speak to a certain extent, but not nearly as much to the extent that the Invisalign braces. Like, sometimes I'll be talking to a client on the phone. Motherfuckers be rude on the phone, especially if they know you're not gonna see them, and they say things like, "Oh, it sounds like you're talking with a mouthful of peanut butter," or they'll try to be nice about it, and they'll say like, "Oh, is there something muffling your phone, or is there something wrong with the connection?" But it was really just me having those things in my mouth that was making me speak in a certain way. And after a while, you do get used to it, but then you have to put another set of retainers, or another set of aligners, which are tighter than the ones before, which you basically have to start that process over again. So what I was doing was, eventually I just got to the point where I started taking them out during the day. So I take them out through my whole 8-hour or 10-hour or 12-hour shift, and I just take them out. Then I'd go home and I put them back in. What this basically did was, it caused a lot of pain because my teeth would shift while I wasn't doing it. And then I basically had to restart the same trays over and over again. And then eventually got to the point where I stopped wearing them at all. But anyways, back to where I was saying. So I would take them out, and then over the course of that, 8-hour to 12-hour shift, the line would start to reverse, because you're supposed to have these things in your mouth for about 22 hours a day. And me, I was lucky to have them in my mouth for 6. So when I would put them back in at night, it was like, it would be super painful, because it's like my teeth never got adjusted to it. And and if I was doing it correctly, I would probably say maybe the first 3 to 4 days at the most, at least for me, because I had big gaps, would be painful. But with these, it was constantly painful, just because I wasn't doing it properly. So that, combined with my children, combined with my other child, my fiance got pregnant again, so we were gonna have another child. It just got to the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna stop doing this. So I completely stopped doing it. I just said, forget it. So then after that, the pandemic started, and I just didn't have them in for basically the whole course of the pandemic. So for a whole year, I just stopped doing it. And basically, I would say 90% of the progress I initially had from first doing it, or I would say about 80%. I would say about 80% of the progress I had, because initially from the Smile Direct Club, kind of reversed, just because my teeth just spaced out again. I didn't finish the treatment. I wasn't wearing any type of retainers. I just raw dogged it, and they just went back to how they were. So then, after a while, I just, one day I just decided that I was just going to go in, and I was going to just get the wire braces, because, one, they cause a lot less of a speech impediment. I did notice that. Watch YouTube videos, and people are saying, well, if you do have a position where you have to speak to people, just like I'm speaking to you now, I have them in, and they're not causing me any type of problem. And also, I'll basically be forced to wear them. It's not like I can rip them out of my mouth. The only way I can get them off is if I go to the orthodontist and get them off. So if for whatever reason I don't want them in, I can't just decide, oh, I'm just going to take them out. So it's much better for me, just because, now I'm forced to wear them. And so far it's been fine. I would say that even the first couple of days, they were supposed to hurt really bad, but they still didn't hurt as much as the invisible liners. When I put them in, it probably hurt for like a day, maybe a half a day, when I first got these installed. And then after that, I didn't even take any medicine. Yeah, because with the clear ones, I took Orgel. With these, I didn't even take any medicine. I just, eventually they just stopped hurting. And then when it comes to the treatment, my treatment plan isn't that long. It's twice as long as the Smile Direct Club treatment plan, but with the Smile Direct Club ones, they only straighten the first six on the bottom and the first six on the top. So it's more cosmetic. So you see here, I had this get right here on the side. The Smile Direct Club ones, they never. Let's see here. This they got, cause it's not for the initial six, just these. The Smile Direct Club ones actually didn't do anything about that, but it did straighten the bottom. You see the bottom's already pretty much straight, and it's straight. It got rid of this gap almost all the way, except for this tooth was not completely straight. It was kind of curved like this, just kind of how it is now. But when I had the Smile Direct Club ones, like the gap was completely closed. And when it did pull, it did make a bigger gap right here. So I had two big gaps like right here, but this was kind of straight. This one at this tip was like a little bit slanted, and the bottom it did a good job. The bottom was almost completely straight, but the bottom for me isn't as bad as the top. Yeah. So with that being said, I just started that. They said it was going to be 18 months of treatment, which isn't too terribly long. Like the Smile Direct Club is 9 months, but this is much more comprehensive than that, so it is actually better. Oh, and also the Smile Direct Club ones, I noticed that my bite was a little bit off as well. It wasn't actually correcting that, which I'm sure if I kept doing it, because like I literally got to like the last tray. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I got all the way to the last tray, and I was gonna order a retainer, and then I lost the last tray and had to go back to the previous tray, and that was around the time when I just stopped doing it, because I'm like, I'm tired of this. I was just so stressed out from just working in my life and stuff like that. But this is gonna take twice as long. Said about 18 months, possibly more, possibly less, depending upon circumstances or whatever. But also, this is way more comprehensive. It's correcting my bite. It's correcting all the gaps in my teeth, not just the first six. I actually have professionals to go speak to make adjustments, and they'll actually make adjustments while they're doing it. Because with the Smile Direct Club ones, you can get refinements after the treatment is done. They can maybe correct certain issues, but like I said, since it's cosmetic and it only does the front six, like let's say that I wanted to fix this as a refinement. Like I could probably fix how they had my front tooth slanted as a refinement. But if I just wanted to fix like these two gaps as a refinement, or if I wanted to fix my bite as a refinement, they probably wouldn't do that just because it's a cosmetic thing. That's why it's so cheap. That's why it's so quick. Because they're really not addressing all the issues that you may have. And if you are on a budget and you don't really have like significant overbite or significant gaps in your teeth like mine, and you just have like maybe a small amount of just corrections that need to be had, I would say that the Smile Direct Club braces may be a decent way for you to go. But if you got big ass gaps like me, and you have like problems with your bite, and you have like several unstraight teeth on the bottom and on the top, and I even have missing teeth. If you're looking at right here, I got a missing one. Right there, I got a missing one. So that's basically the reason why I got them. I wanted to compete in the financial industry, or just in the workplace in general, and I wanted to look as professional as possible, and to really try to put my family in a good position to survive, and to really maintain a decent lifestyle. And that was the reason why I did it. And honestly, even though I'm not a big fan of these, they get the job done, because I'm not a big money guy. So for me, as long as I had enough money to do the things that I wanted to do, I really didn't care what I did, as long as I didn't hate my job. Like, as long as I had enough money to take care of myself, have transportation, and have a little bit of disposable income to go on trips and things, or go to Daytona Beach, or go to Myrtle Beach, or maybe go to Oklahoma City or Michigan, or just wherever I wanted to go at the time. As long as I had that much money, that was good enough for me. But then once you have kids, your financial burden changes a lot. So it was just a much greater financial burden. So instead of just doing what I want to do, I had to do what I had to do. So, and one of those things was fixing my teeth, just to make it a little bit easier on me. And that's just really all I have to say about that.